admin training. My name is Sodiq, and we'll continue from where the other presenter stopped. And the task assigned to me is setup of jboss 4.2.3 GA using the JCA architecture, which is Java connector architecture. It's important that okay, we have some guide here that we will be following through to we get the jboss installed. But first we need to emphasize that before a working environment or a jboss can be set up, we need a readily available 24 environment that is running on a classic mode or any other mode. What are we doing in jboss as in setup? It's just for us to be able to connect to T24 via the browser interface. We can as well have the browser or the archive or the MB to connect to T24 via a third-party application like a jboss. jboss is an application server, which is a free software, open source software based on a Java EE application. So having said this, our last presenter has taken us through setting up an environment on T24. So based upon that knowledge firstly, we need to say why jboss. jboss is very robust and easy to configure for T24 application or connecting to the browser. It has its robustness based on its Java background make the application very easy, and the naming convention and the directory interface using the JCA, which is also the basis of this presentation, and obviously the Java message services integration. So based on this, we said we will be going through the setup of jboss using the JCA architecture. Talking about the JCA is a Java-based technology solution for connecting application servers, jboss, and the enterprise system, and enterprise information system, which is the JBase. There are other ways that we can also connect to the enterprise information system. That's talking about the JDBC. But unlike JDBC, which is specifically used to connect Java applications to database, JCA is more generic in terms of architecture for connecting to enterprise information system. And JCA also provides a Java technology solution to the problem of connectivity between the many applications, containers, and today's enterprise information system. And one of also the advantage or the reason why you would prefer or would want to use a JCA architecture is that the resource adapters. Those we still coming to the resource adapters, but I think in the later or some trainings or presentations to come, we still talk more on adapters and listeners in JBoss customization. But just to quickly talk on it, the resource adapter is a system level software driver which is used by Java application to connect enterprise information system, which we often refer to as JBoss. It's used for connecting T24 browser to terminal application framework connection, which is Type C. And JCA also is a resource adapter that conforms and specifies the mechanism and contracts required for transactional interaction. In a simple sense or in a simple language, at the end, JCA is just the manager that understands the conformity and the contract or transactional interaction between the enterprise information system, which is Step C, and the JBoss or the application server in this sense. So having said this, we will take us through we'll be going through this little setup and a little guide on how we're going to go during this presentation. We said firstly we have to, after we have our environment ready, what we need is at least a TAFC of the release of 2009 or later, a browser or archive, but here we're talking about the browser. We'll be looking at the archive in the later presentation. 8024 environment of R9 or later releases, JBoss, which is application server of 4.2.3, which is one that we're discussing, or at least 5.10 GA, and also we will need a Java JTK release of 1.6 or later. I think the other presenter have talked about of taking us through how we can install Java on T24 and this thing. So we will just be pointing to that or we will be leveraging on that training or presentation that we've done. The training that we'll be doing is depending on the ones that have been previously done, because this is still under Linux and JBoss training. So said we'll download. Okay, there is one a very useful site that was shared with me where we can download the JBoss. It's sourceforge.net. We can just navigate through to find where we can download the JBoss, whether the 4.3 GA, 4.2.3 GA, or even the 5.10 GA, or even the later release of 6 or JBoss 7. So I'm connecting to my Linux environment via my VM machine, and it's pertinent to say before we start making directories from Linux or placing our JBoss on the directory where we will be running it from. It's pertinent to say that when we download or when we get the JBoss application from whether the site that I mentioned or from anywhere, some files might be missing, like the one I downloaded, some of the T24 XML, I mean the JBoss T24 destination source, and some other files were missing. So what we just need to do is to copy from an environment and we put it, because without these files, our jboss may not be working. So having said this, I have already set up the jboss on my own machine. I'll just be taking you through how I went with it setting up, and if if these steps have been followed to the line, I'm very sure you have problems when setting up your own jboss. Firstly, I made it directly in the root. I called it jboss, and then from which is the directory which I will be installing my jboss, or my jboss will be sitting, sorry. And this is my jboss 4.2.3, the zipped file which I downloaded. And after downloading it, I exploded it, or I unzipped it using the command unzip. Unzip, I think I use this command jboss 4.2. Is to unzip it to get this file. After getting this file here, I gave the necessary right to the file, to the jboss. I gave the user to be tab C, the group to be jbase, and I gave the access rights which we've already talked about in the last presentation of the change mode, change the right, the execution, and I gave it the right. So I'm navigating into the folder to which my jboss is extracted into, which is this. And having said this, there are some folders under this environment. We have the bin, we have the right, and we have the client, we have the docs, we have the lib, and we have the server. Yeah, we said we have the bin directory, we have the client. We'll talk more about the bin directory and the lib directory. So for now, we are navigating to the server directory. Then under this directory, we have also all default and minimal directories. For now, let's just navigate into the default directory. And under this directory, we also have the config, the data, deploy, lib, log, temporary directory, and the work directory. But for our jboss configuration, we will be doing much on the deploy directory, where most of our files have been are sitting. We have the T20, the T24D XML file, which we'll be talking about later. We have the test.war, the war file. We have the jboss web deployer, this, and so many other important files that we'll be talking about. But as a starter, and just to get our jboss or our browser running first, we need to work with the files that are important for now, and then from there we can take it on from there. It's also important. Okay, it's also important to note that talking about the resource adapters I was talking about from the other time, the tocfee.ear and tocfee T24RR. These two files are very, very important, and before we can use the JCA architecture, we need to ensure that these two files are sitting under this deploy directory. And also this we'll be talking about the setting up of the T24DS XML, but we need to ensure that we have at least the jboss web deployer, the the WAV file, which is which I've renamed it to this. Some may have it as a browser web dot WAV file, and the doc3.er, which is the resource connector, which before now is known as which before now they are known as what's it called, um yeah, before we say there are copy missing files depending on what's missing from the downloaded site. Okay, they may be also called the jremote raw files. They are copied from the tafc file that we are using from the T24, which is on this directory, the Java, then the lib directory. So these are also very important files. So let's just talk about the T24 and T24. The T24 XML file is JBoss server configuration file for T24. This is where we will be specifying our connection properties and that we will be using to connect to the T24 via the different OFS source messages or OFS pop manager. So we'll be talking about the tags in between and how best we can make use of this file. This is a very essential file, configuration file, where we specify the port numbers, the server name, IP, and the OFS setting required by the C24 browser. Here we're talking about the JNDI name, which is called the Java naming. I was talking about the Java naming and directory interface. This is also I was talking about just the meaning of JNDI, Java naming directory interface. This is one of also the uses of JCA. You can see the use of JCA and architecture here, and this directory is always found is always been specified in JBoss web XML file. We'll still look at that, and just to explain the tags here, we have the raw name, which is the resource adapter, talking about the jremote raw, which we will be using the connection definition. The connection definition refers to the class, as in to the class defined in the jremote raw or the tafc raw that we're talking about, which is the resource connection. Which is the resource connection. Also, we have the config properties. Specify here we specify the host, the IP address of the host that we'll be using to connect to the JBoss, and here we specify the port. Here I've specified as to be okay. I think this is the one I was using for my training or for my test. I specified the port to be 2002. There is also the compression. Compression specifies whether data packets whose size are greater than the value of the compression should be compressed for enhanced performances. There is also the compression threshold, which is specified here as being true. That means it should be compressed for data for enhanced performances. There's also the compression threshold, which which denotes the number of bytes used as a threshold to decide whether to compress data packet. So this one is also been specified here, and the OFS source is an OFS source record with source type as session and syntax type as OFS. So this is the main important part for us to set up in the T24 DSXML file, and we also maybe in the later stages of maybe JBoss customization, we'll be talking about how we can set up multiple instances or multiple instances for different environments. So but for now, let's just keep it simple and let's just set up an environment, and let's just see how it works. So this is the destination source file for T24, and this is the first reference file that the JBoss will be looking at in terms of connecting to T24. And if it's not well set, we'll be having problems with our JBoss. And having said this, we should we'll continue with we'll see how we continue with the browser parameter. First, I said some of us might be having it as what's it called, as a browser parameter, but may have renamed it to be test.war, which is just the WAR file, and we have some other directories and files here, but the one I want to make use of here is for now it's just the browser parameter file. The browser parameter file is a general file that keeps all the settings of the browser that you want to use. Here we specify what kind of parameter that I want to use. Is it what kind of product are we trying to use? Which can be either browser or archive. Talking about archive, which is internet banking, or that's another kind of a setup itself. But here we're choosing browser, which is what we're trying to do here. And the server connection method, what kind of server connection method? This is also a very important one. We have instant, agents, and JMS. Talking about this server connection method. Okay, also talking about the server connection method, which can be either agent, instance, or JMS. The instant here I've chosen to be JMS, which is a terminus open connectivity framework. I've chosen to go with the agent. We might decide to go with the JMS, and which is Java messaging services, and with instance, but they perform in a different way. Agent is more robust and very easy to configure. Yeah, also like JMS is also in terms of loading, and it's very resilient. It's very resilient in terms of load and balancing. But when talking about instance, that means you can only connect to the browser with only one instance. I mean that at one instance at a time, or one agent at a time. So we have chosen to go with the agent, any which one that we choose to go through. Well, I think right now we can only configure for agent and for JMS, which is talking about this browser parameters. This is a parameter file that would have been set up or that has their own values taken in from another source file. So um, all these browser file upload channel, document service, instance reproduction, they have been set up in another file. But for now, since we are just looking at the setting up of jboss and not browser parameters, we are still leaving all this, and we will look at them when we are doing configuration and customization of jboss. Yes. So rightly said, we've moved to what's it called, the server XML file, which we can find in jboss web deployer. Excuse me. Which you can find in the jboss web deployer, and we have the server XML file. Here we're talking about the port to which we are going to connect our browser with. I mean, talking about browser, maybe the port to which we are going to connect with, which is via Internet Explorer, or what's it called, or Firefox. So this is the port you're specifying the port here, so that you'll be able to access T24 via the connecting port for browser. And also we want to look into the jboss web XML file. Okay, we like to talk about some other files here, talking about the IM images is the directory where our images will be sitting for images, document, and things like that. We also have transforms where we put in you might also want to, okay, I was talking about jboss web XML. Let's look at this file. jboss web XML file is where we specify our JNDI name, which we put in the T24 XML file. So, and you also want to look at the, for example, if you want to set up the browser parameter file also, there's also this, so that we specify the path to which there is also the help text parameter which is sitting in the text in the WAR file. So in case you want to set up our help text for our browser. And I think just for now we should be fine for most of the setup. We can now go to starting up with jboss, and yeah, so now we can start the jboss, and we move to the bin directory. Talking about the bin directory, so that you can be able to tell what's happening in there. So we're starting the JBoss here, the environment where we have our T24. We go in there to at the JBoss prompt or the JBoss level to start our agent. You can see that our JBoss is running, and while our environment is still coming up. This is the environment to which the T24 is, or the JBoss is connecting to the T24. We start agent using this command. We use -p to specify that it should start in a particular port. This is the port that I have specified in the T24 destination XML file 2002, and it's already running on port 22. So we can say our JBoss is already running, but we can just stop it and start it again, so that we can use this command to grab see the agents that are running on our system. So we may just want to kill this one so that we can start it again. So we can stop it first, since it said it started on another. So we are starting it, and we can now go to our internet browser or internet connectivity, either Firefox or IE, to and we specify the port that now we put in the server XML file. So specify 8080, and this is the browser web WAR file. I have since changed it to the test.war file. So you can have a browser set up like this. So you can have a username, sign in. You just check if okay. You might be having issues with maybe the JBoss agent, or at times you might be giving you error of unable to connect to the server. That means your setup is not well done. You'll be seeing unable to connect to JBoss instance. That means your agent is not being started. So let's check. Let's sign in to the user and see if we are rightly connected to the server. And while we are connecting, some messages have been sent on the JBoss. You can see through the UFS manager, and the response time will be put in here. If you are having issue, if you cannot sign in, the messages will be popping up here. I think this is just the basics of setting up a JBoss using the JCA architecture for browser or for T24. With this, you just have the basic knowledge of setting up this thing, and In the later presentations or lesson, we'll go into more details of customizing and doing more on the JBoss environment. With this, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to present this training.